Daniel Baker is an anti-fascist activist outside. Fuck. 1. Daniel Baker is an anti-fascist activist in Florida, and he has now been sentenced to 44 months in prison for a social media post that he made. That's right, federal prison for 44 months. Now, why did he get it? Because he said we should be armed to defend ourselves against people like the rioters on the January 6th assault on the Capitol. Literally, that's it. Literally, just for saying we should defend ourselves against the fascists who stormed the Capitol, saying we should organize to defend ourselves against people like that is enough to get him 44 months in prison. Now, I know there's a lot of, right-wingers out there who think that the government is secretly socialist and secretly left or openly left or whatever kind of Jonesian conspiracy you may wish to partake in at any given time. That is very lenient towards the left and lets the left get away with anything. So, interestingly, Baker, a 34-year-old yoga teacher and emergency medical technician trainee, had no previous convictions for anything, and he had already been held for 10 months in pre-trial detention, including 7 months in solitary confinement, for saying that people should defend themselves. So, so he had no weapons. He did not amass weapons. He did not get people together to be a militia or anything. And he didn't even threaten a single individual. But he got 44 months in prison. So, let's get this straight. Do nothing illegal, 44 months in prison. Storm the Capitol, 2 years. Think about that. You receive a greater punishment for saying you should be able to defend yourself from fascists than fascists get for literally attacking the government. So he's getting way more than them just for saying that we should defend ourselves against them. Exactly in what area in what possible way is this fair? Now, I'm certain there would be right-wingers who have some kind of mental gymnastics to defend that and think that in some way, shape, or form, that's okay. I mean, it's very clear freedom of speech issue. I mean, if you do have any freedom of speech, I would think that maybe at the very least, you would be able to say, I'm allowed to defend myself, or that I should defend myself. So this is a very nonsense thing and shows very much the actual real prejudices that exist in the U.S. government, particularly the judiciary system. They essentially are, giving a slap on the wrist to people who tried to overthrow the government, but will throw a leftist in jail for 44 months for saying that people should defend themselves from them. Imagine that. Now, here's what the man himself had to say. The American government has chosen to side with white supremacists, except when their own bureaucracy forces them to prosecute the most blatant offenders, albeit gently. They criticize me for supporting Black Lives Matter, feminist liberation ideologies, global revolutionary movements, and direct democracy. The government has made the stance clear throughout my hearings. Because that's the real evil in the world, direct democracy. Saying that people should have some measure of control over their lives that maybe very wealthy billionaires, very wealthy capitalists shouldn't be allowed to have. They should be able to speak for themselves, decide what they want to do with their own future, and maybe democratize something that's, allegedly a democracy to begin with. But that's going too far. That's the kind of thing that really scares the bourgeoisie. The idea of people having democracy. Let's storm the Capitol in favor of a fascist. Oh, well, that's no really a big deal. I mean, we can probably just handle that with kid gloves. So the next time you're thinking about this, or the next time you're out and you hear one of these right-wingers, IRL or on the internet, saying the government is, secretly leftist and they're covering up the crimes of Antifa and Black Lives Matter. Think about this. That you could storm the Capitol, slap on the wrist. Say you should defend yourself from the people who stormed the Capitol. That's 44 months in prison. That's several years of your life. And 7 months of that in solitary confinement for some reason. Probably just to punish the guy. This is a guy who had no criminal record. Probably never even been accused of a crime. Never been arrested. And that's the kind of treatment he gets. If you don't think that's one-sided, you're pretty delusional. And let this serve as a warning to other leftists, particularly those in Florida, for whatever reason anybody would choose to live in Florida. Be careful about talking about your right to defend yourself, because that might be just enough to have you sent away for prison and losing your rights. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.